Hello everyone, my name is Michael Yeager from the Modern Lovers Podcast, and today I'm going to be playing a League of Tron. This is without a doubt my favorite deck in Modern. It has been for 2 years or so now, ever since David gave it to me one day when we went out to play on a Monday night. I played it, I fell in love with it, I put it together entirely in Japanese, and it's just my pride and joy to play in terms of Magic. I feel like it is decently positioned in the meta at the moment. It has a little bit of a 50-50 match with blue-red as long as you know how to play it properly. Playing around Blood Moon effects is something that you need to know how to do if you're going to play Tron. Playing against 4-color is a little trickier ever since Boseiju came out. You have to worry about Ren and 6 Boseiju combos. I'm going to run into an issue with that in a little bit in the league, but there are ways around it. Pithing Needle is able to name Boseiju, things of that nature. So knowing what your weaknesses are is a great way to figure out how to start winning those matches. Also, knowing what's popular in the meta kind of helps. So being as those two decks are pretty popular, I wanted to have a firm grasp. Now in this league, I'm pretty sure I play against blue-red once and 4-color not at all. I play against a pile of other things, and I finished the league off by playing against Aspiring Spike himself. All good matches. I didn't really have any complaints. Fun league, nothing to complain about. So I am running 2 Titans. I run 1 Ulamog and 1 Emrakul. That is my anti-control package because playing against blue-white control without the Emrakul in the main board is a little bit of a rough match. You're able to Ulamog them off 2 lands, off the cast trigger. However, getting their hand empty of infinite counterspells is a little rough. We are also on a 3 Oblivion Stone, 1 All Is Dust split. I do like having 4 board wipes in the board. I do like having 1 All Is Dust. It also serves as a tribal when it goes into your graveyard for Emrakul, the Promised End, to reduce the cost by a little bit more. 2 relics, that is obviously for Living End, and then it fringe hates on any graveyard strategies like Dredge or cookbook strategies. Sideboard, we have 1 Grafdigger's Cage for Yawgmoth, the additional Walking Ballista to wish for with Karn, so that way we have 2 in the main, 1 in the board for Karn. Pithing Needle for many varieties of reasons. Liquid Metal Coating for Karn combo, 3 Nature's Claims for Hammer as well as Affinity, a Chalice of the Void to stop the Cascade decks as well as kind of lock Affinity and any other 0 droppers out of the game. 2 Dismembers for Ragavans mostly, but it also hits on Magus of the Moon and any other creature. Ensnaring Bridge for big dragons. Trinisphere because it locks a lot of decks out of the game. Wormcoil Engine is a wish target and also more anti-burn, anti-aggro tech in the main. Same with the Thragtusk, Emrakul for mill and control. Alright, we're going to jump right into the games. So I am going to try recording my first video. I decided to run a League of Tron as that's what I went over in the first podcast as to what I am most proficient on in Modern. So we are going to run a league of it, see how it goes. To be honest with you, I have been playing quite a bit of Pioneer to prep for the season, so I might be slightly rusty in terms of playing this deck. I do apologize if I make any terrible play mistakes. Please forgive me as it's been a whole week or so. Alright, let's hop in here. Hopefully it doesn't run me down 25 seconds. Cool. Okay, hand is trash. So we'll throw this back. It's a constant theme with Tron that we are throwing hands back that don't do things. This hand is significantly better. So we will keep, and we will throw back a Chromatic Sphere. Just in case my opponent is blue-red Murktide, I would like to have the relic. Leading with a Mishra's Bauble. Could be a whole variety of decks. Targeting themselves means it's a fetch land. They didn't like the card. Steam Vents and Ragavan, question mark. Oh. No Ragavan. Draw your card. Throw out my mine and my star. Pass turn. Now, we did keep a hand without any guaranteed way to put Tron together. However, going down to 5 when we have a chance of putting it together is not something I want to do. Looks like they're going to try and keep Counterspell up. If that is the case... Oh, doesn't matter. Okay. So what do we want to do here? We want to eat the counterspell with his Ancient Stars. I should not have played my land there, by the way. That's a mistake, just like I was talking about, because it gives them a little bit more information that we didn't need to give them. Yep, that's fine. We will not pay that. And then we will try and jam this. And if they have second Spell Pierce, that's fine. Alright. We'll try to keep that Murktide offline. They're going to just try eating their lands, which makes sense. They have another Consider, it looks like. They could have a Bolt, which they're just going to jam at my face. Yeah. Makes sense. There's nowhere else that they could throw it other than my Karns, which would make a ton more sense, but why would we do that? We got an iteration coming. Oh, a Murktide. Neat. Only a 6/6. Alright, so we have the ability to play our Karn. It's a matter of what we do with the Karn. Because, let's see here. We can get the bridge. That stops the dragon from attacking. Everything else, the Karn dies to the actual attack. So I think we're forced to get the bridge here. My opponent put a winky face in the chat because they're very, or smiley face, sorry, not a winky face. They're very happy. That's totally fine. I do have this Ugin, which I will happily trade. Okay, there's the EE, which I thought he was going to hit last time. He didn't hit a land, so he's digging. Okay, he conceded. I was about to say, he clearly didn't hit a land, knows we're going to go get Liquid Metal Coating next turn, and just blow him out of the game. On to sideboarding. Okay, so they tend to have some number of Alpine Moon, some number of Blood Moon, and some number of Magus of the Moon. So we're going to roll around a little bit of each. We're going to cut our 2 Titans as they're not as important here. We will cut, let's see what else. We're definitely bringing in both Dismembers. Probably 2 Claims. We are going to cut one of the Karns, if not 2 Karns, because Karn, while really good in most matchups, in this matchup tends to come down, eat something that's a problem on board that I have to deal with, and then eats a Lightning Bolt. So he's still a 2-for-1, but he's a 7-mana 2-for-1, and a lot of the times I feel like if I don't go up with him, it's just a play mistake. We're keeping the relics. We want the Karn the Great Creators because our Wish package is just super strong. Let me see. We want Walking Ballistas because having Walking Ballista on 2 to deal with a Ragavan is really good. We're on the draw, so it's not as good as on the play, but it is still better than not having to answer to Ragavan at all that early. We do have the option of just cutting somewhere else. Like, they don't go super wide, so we can probably get away with cutting an O-Stone or one of the All Is Dusts. I think we're actually going to move an All Is Dust because O-Stone is better against moon effects. So that's what we'll roll with. We'll roll with 3 Karns, no All Is Dust, no Titans, 2 Claims, 2 Dismembers. We do want to leave the other Walking Ballista in the sideboard as a Karn Wish target. The rest of the artifacts are also going to remain in here as a Karn Wish target. There is a chance that we want Pithing Needle to deal with a sideboard Jace if the match gets grindy. However, we are better off getting that off of our Karn. So we have 4 ways to get to it instead of just drawing it naturally. Opponent is tanking over their 7, it looks like. Oh no, they are choosing whether or not to go first still. Okay, this hand is great. We will keep. We have the ability to put Tron together on turn 3, barring any counter magic. And if they have counter magic, then they have counter magic. Welcome to playing against blue as a Tron player. Do they have a monkey? Are they going to give us the bidness? The bidness. Okay, they have the bidness. Now I really just hope they don't have Smack Us land Magus of the Moon. That is not good for us. Smack Us land Blood Moon is fine. I don't care about that. Alright, we'll see if they fetch an island. Okay, they're not fetching an island. Okay, we're going to crack here for green. Hopefully just draw the tower naturally. We didn't do it, but that's pretty good. I think in this case we're going to Stirrings, so we can hold up this Dismember for that monkey. Yeah. Cast your counterspell. It's fine. Flusterstorm. Okay. Sure. No. Okay. Now, I have to debate whether or not I want to play the monkey now. Or, I mean, sorry, kill the monkey now, which I think I will. I'll go for it, and if they have another 1-mana counterspell, then I'm just going to be in the dirt a little bit. But then we're going to try to play out Forest Sylvan Scrying next turn. And, oh my god, second Flusterstorm. That's so funny. Okay, they got it. No. I will not pay 1 for any of these, Moto. Thank you. So this leaves us open to go Forest Scrying this turn. And if they have 3 counters, then, as I said at the beginning, just welcome to playing it. Oh man, there's my tower. I'm so hurt. Alright, they're digging. Did they not find 3rd land? Iteration? Okay, this is good for us. Barring they find land plus counterspell. They found Otawara, which is a blue land, so we might be in the dirt a little bit more. Okay. Stop looking at my cards, I don't like it. Tower anyway. Second tower. No. Okay. Forest. There is some debate here as to whether or not it's better. Okay, just actual counterspell. We just have every counterspell in the land. Got it. This is one of the best ways for blue-red to beat Tron, if you are on the other side of this match, is just have all of the counter magic versus your Tron opponent. It will get you there. Also, he keeps hitting my things at cantrip. Okay, so we are... What do we do here? Play a mine. We're basically in prey territory here. Like, there's nothing really I can do other than top deck an answer. I really need him to stop hitting those. He's got a Murktide or an Iteration. Got it. Okay, found a land. He gets a 2-for-1 off of his Iteration, as is tradition. Okay, he's digging again. Alright, we are waiting. I just want to make sure that there's nothing I need to besiege you here. That's why I'm not just auto-passing. Okay, I'll give it one more draw. I think one more draw is where we need to be. He showed us that he doesn't have a Murktide in hand. He hasn't played a DRC, which means his hand is most likely just counter magic. So we're just not in a good way here. If he's going to play like this, then we might be better off bringing in the Emrakul for game 3. Okay. 3rd Forest is out of the deck. Blessing in disguise. Okay. So now we will pray that we can stick this Karn next turn. Or better yet, draw tower. Okay. We're considering. You consider, opponent. What did you find? A Ragavan. That's also something he probably has another one of in his hand. Is another Ragavan. So my guess is his hand is Counterspell, Archmage's Charm, Ragavan, Land. Could be Lightning Bolt, but I'm assuming he sided those out. That Blast Zone would have been nice. It would have kept us alive another turn. Okay. We're going to test the waters because... Because if he has a counterspell, he would use it on Karn anyway. Yeah. Okay. Next game. Alright. My opponent seems to be on the counterspell plus early threats plan, which is fine. For that, we'll bring in Emrakul. Got one O-Stone. I don't really like cutting the O-Stone as much, but not that Emrakul. Thank you. This Emrakul. Alright, let's roll. Alright, we're just going to hope for natural Tron plus something to do with it. You know. Hey look, Tron. Keep. We also have the Dismember for the turn 1 monkey. We can take a turn off. He's on a mulligan to 5 so far. We also have Dismember for Magus. That's pretty good. That means I can I've got the O-Stone, so I'm not really scared of Magus. However, I am going to need to find something to do. Sure. So here we go. Yeah, you can have that. So here we just go tower, star. I want to Dismember here because he's on a mull to 5. So I think that's what we're going to do. Debating whether or not I want to crack my star to just see an extra card. That way it's like mana efficient. I do have the second map, and he's not going to counter the second map. So I can go get my green source if I need it. So I think it's correct. We'll crack for green just to make them think real quick. Draw. Okay. Alright. And if he has something, like if he's a braid or some nonsense, not that I think that he would, I'll just play the power plant, map plus crack. Ooh. Hopefully he doesn't find the bauble. That's the only way he gets extreme value out of this. Okay, he found a Ragavan, put it in the exile zone. Here we can crack. Which ones do I have? I have power plant and tower, so I need mine. Put our mine out. Play this other map. Yeah, play this other map. Say pass. This map can get us our blast zone, which can keep pretty much everything at bay. That's fine. This play happens quite a lot, to be honest with you, where people are like, haha, turn 3, I jammed this. Blood Moon, what are you going to do? And I'm like, I am going to play this here. Oblivion Stone. What sucks is the rest of our draws have been pretty terrible. Yeah, and I'm not even like... This Oblivion Stone is really not even hurting me. So there's no need for me to fight out from underneath of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to play a power plant this turn, play a map, and I'm going to thin my deck out by 2 cards. What we'll do is we'll go get the Blast Zone as well as our Sanctum of Ugin. So that way we can Oblivion Stone and do whatever we need to do from that point onward. We could also get Beseju here, which obviously we don't need to because we're sitting on an O-Stone. But we'll grab these 2. We also have 2 Sylvan Scryings in hand, so... Man, we're good at this. Okay, so... We'll Sylvan Scrying. Grab the Beseju. Play out a... Which one do I want to play out? Sanctum. There's a... Like, I don't want to give them more information, which is why I was debating between the Mine and the Sanctum. We're also going to take a turn here to put a Fate counter on our own Oblivion Stone. So that way if we draw a second Oblivion Stone, we're just... we're able to play it and keep one alive. Mana efficiency, right? Okay. So let's start drawing cards. If he wants to counter this, that's fine. Okay. My brain is slowly melting. We'll scry again. We're going to just get rid of the lands in this deck. So we have, what? 2 power plants, 2 mines. We'll grab the tower. Just to have a second. 2 copies of each. Not that I think it's relevant, but you never know. I'm waiting for a Dash Dragavan. He exiled one, so it's kind of crazy to me that he hasn't done anything. Okay, he's just passing turn. Okay. That's interesting. But I don't want to unlock his blue mana. Like, he's locked right now on mana. Whereas I have 8 mana. And we'll have 9 mana next turn, so... if I draw a Karn or something, I can play into it and play around Spell Pierce. This is fine. This locks him off blue mana entirely for the turn unless he finds literal basic island. He found Spell Pierce. Drew a bauble. Okay, that's fine. You know what I'm drawing. Okay, you draw, and you know that I have what? Worm Coil. Cool. So we'll play this Worm Coil. And we'll go scrying. For a forest. Because we're playing under his Blood Moon right now. He made the mistake that a lot of players make against Tron, thinking that Blood Moon's going to lock me out of the game. Sure. That's fine. This is all fine to me. He has 4 card types, so I'm sure he's willing to, that's interesting. Let's see if we connect with this Worm Coil first. Do I want to Nature's Claim my own Worm Coil in response? I gain 4 life. Let's see what his Surveil is first. Okay, they put a card on that. Yeah, we'll wait to dismember. We can dismember and put a fate counter on some of our worm tokens. Preferably the lifelink one. I'm just waiting to draw a bomb so I can Sanctum of Ugin, play Emrakul, and win the game. But I have to draw something that actually costs 7 mana. Alright, he found a bauble. Alright. I think I'm going to actually, now that his blue mana is untapped, with that on the stack, I will dismember this. Save myself 1 point of damage. Okay, he's looking at the top of mine. Okay, so we go here. Put a fate counter on my lifelinker. Go to turn. Alright, so he knows I have this, so is there any point holding back? I guess we can see what he does here first, right? Swing. Swing. Show me your lightning bolt. No, you don't have it. Cast Ancient Stirrings. Is this a time to just jam Karn? So we jam Karn. We wish. So jam Karn, wish, play Beseju, pop Oblivion Stone. Okay. No, and we're gonna kill our own Karn, but we get something really big out of the board. Or we just play around a second Worm Coil. I like the Worm Coil plan. So play this Worm Coil. Leave open mana for Boseiju. He conceded. Alright, so unfortunately my opponent learned the downside of playing Blood Moon is sometimes you have to play under your own Blood Moon for a while. And I just got to make land drops and eventually drew bombs. So I will see you in the next match. Okay, so we are going to queue up for our second match. I do apologize, just like I did there. I tend to not say exactly what is happening. I have found after rewatching that first match to make sure that the quality and everything was good to go before continuing, I noticed there were quite a few times that I said something inaccurate. I'm pretty sure I called an EI and EE, as well as said island was untapped instead of tapped. So I do apologize. I'm really good at not letting my brain connect to what I'm trying to say. So I do apologize when that happens. Please just bear with me. This hand has 2 Tron lands, things to do with it, 2 Sylvan Scrimes, and a Relic of Progenitus, which is so tempting, especially being on the draw, and my opponent showed a Gigantha. My fear is that if he has 5-color aggro, that I just might be in a bad way. We'll just put it that way. So we're going to throw this back, as it is 7 and it doesn't make Tron. This is 7, or this is 6 and makes Tron, so we'll keep. Now there is some debate here. I believe I'm actually going to pitch the Star. This allows me to have the option of Oblivion Stone or Ugin on 4. I don't like keeping the forest here, but we're going to put the Star back. Alright, not aggro, please. Okay, I am not surprised. It could be Shadow with Gigantha. Yeah, it's looking like it's Shadow. This is traditionally not that bad of a match for Tron. However, my opponent's going turn 1 Steam Benson Monkey does seem to be a frequent thing that's happening recently. That gives us a turn 3 play here, which is good. We need it. I have to figure out what I'm going to do with this Karn. Obviously, it's not worth speculating about until I see what I'm drawing on my next turn. Depending on what he does here, I'm hoping he just drops a Shredder. Expressive Iteration? Yeah, okay. He might be missing land. So what we're going to do here is... He found the land. We are just going to jam out our tower and pass, because that's what Tron does. I kind of wish we had that Walking Ballista. Do we have a Thoughtseize too? Okay, we don't have a Thoughtseize, so we might have the Spell Pierce. Might have the Spell Pierce. My guess is that we're just trying to hurt ourselves. So we're just going to pass here. Hope that they don't gain too much of an advantage off of this monkey on this swing. The worst possible thing for us is if they hit with Karn, have another land and a treasure, or hit with monkey. See, this is me thinking ahead again. They hit with monkey, get a treasure, play a land, and then they hit a baby Karn, which they didn't. So Drowning in the Loch is really bad against us, so we don't have to worry about running into too much counter magic against Shadow. We'll only have 1 card in our yard. Looks like they're looking to iterate again. Find a land. I'm guessing they want a Shredder here. Okay, they found a DRC. Which if they don't have... They do have the land. Play out your DRC. Sure. It's a 1/1. Second DRC. Okay. Their board is really bad to a blast zone. But obviously we're going to play the Karn, because we're going to go fetch up Tron. Go get the power plant. Play our power plant. Play our Karn. Okay. So we play our power plant. Now, there's an interesting thing we can do here where we actually just play Karn and we get Trinisphere while they're tapped out. And it makes, like, they can't really do anything at that point, right? So I think that's our line. We play Karn. We get Trinisphere. My other option here was Walking Ballista. But we're going to get Trinisphere. Client, like, showed me the Walking Ballista in Exile for a second, and I forgot, like, my sideboard was so small. Okay, Trinisphere. Jam Trinisphere. Be prepared to lose Karn. If we can get him to attack with Ragavan and a Channeler at Karn, that's even better. Part of getting Trinisphere also stops him from getting Delirium as easily. It also basically kind of stomps all over his Mishra's Bauble. Oh, hey, look, he's on the snow-covered Swamp Tech. Because we hate Enchantress. Okay, Unholy Heat. Targeting Karn. Makes sense. We're going to hope to Surveil. Okay, he found the instant. Which is fine. That means that Karn is dead. And I'm going to take 5, and he's going to get a treasure. Sure. He's going to get... I'm going to take 5. He gets a treasure. He can't cast that, which is kind of nice. Now, my fear... Yeah, you can't cast that, buddy. Ooh, that might be better. Because this allows me to go up with my Ugin next turn. Yeah. Okay. Now I get to go up with Ugin next turn. It would be really nice if I could draw any other Tron land as well, because I can then stir and then make my play. He needs to deploy a threat or he loses any semblance of being in this game. Okay. Cast with dash. Totally fine. He's going to try to get in. Let's see. What do we find? Another Ugin. Something I didn't want to draw, so I'm okay with it. Please tell me you have another Ragavan. Okay, DRC. We can shoot that with our Ugin. Sure. This dash Ragavan might be a little bit of a problem, though. Okay, so there's a tower. So we get to do this cool thing where we stir and then are still able to cast Ugin. This Walking Ballista is really good here. But I think I want to save it for next turn. Because he's not able to go dash Ragavan, bolt, bolt. So we'll take this. Any order. Play out this Ugin. Take this Ugin up. He also has to deal with this Ugin. So like he can't Thoughtseize and deploy Ragavan. Unless he's got a land. He could dash Ragavan, land, Thoughtseize me. Okay, he has a land. Which means he has two things he wants to do this turn. Okay. That is successfully dashed at my face. We can make our Walking Ballista a 6/6, which unfortunately dies to Unholy Heat. But he's debating whether or not he has to hit this Ugin right now. Yeah. Yep. And he's used one Lightning Bolt, correct? Yeah, okay. Shadow? Oh, Croxa? Ooh, oh, that's not all that bad, to be honest with you. Get rid of this O-Stone. Sure. We'll hold whatever we draw next turn, so we know that he's got 3 cards in hand. Please not a land. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we take up. Target here. Play the land. He can't discard spell me plus escape Croxa. So this also prevents him from shocking in a land. And he already played his basic, so okay. So unless he's on the basic mountain, which he could be, he is no longer able to dash Ragavan and do something else. Terminate is fine. Like I said, here, if he wants to cast a second spell, he has to shock. Yeah. Most likely shock. He could just have basic mountain, like I said, but it looks like he doesn't. So we would have drawn a Beseju, and then we would have ulted into a Karn, a bunch of stuff. That Karn would have gone and got us, went and got us anything we wanted. Okay, so against Shadow, they tend to be on Alpine Moon. Their mana base does not permit them to play Magus of the Moon or Blood Moon. So I have to figure out what I want. We cut the Titans here. They're not fast enough. We're on a similar game plan to the one we were in terms of sideboarding in our first round. So we'll bring in the 2 Dismembers. Once again, I will trim a Karn. However, I don't know if I want to trim the All Is Dust in this match. They're not as counterspell reliant, and they also tend to sideboard out Drown in the Loch, as it's not as good against big spells. So I'm thinking, you know, we might actually, no, we're going to do 2 Karns. 2 claims in. The third claim, if you're wondering, that is more for artifact-centric decks. Things like Hammer Time, Affinity, you know, anything that runs Urza Saga is something that I want the third Nature's Claim for. But in most of these matchups, you know, I'm looking for a 1-for-1 to put myself back in the game, so I'm not looking to draw second and third copy. We have Natural Tron and the ability to stabilize the board on turn 4 with 2 redraws. We're going to keep. I mean, we have Natural Tron, so we're going to keep this anyway. Tron is really good at playing off the top of the deck. So if you're ever in a spot where you're playing Tron and you're like, man, this hand doesn't do anything, but it makes 7 mana on turn 3, just keep the hand. Have a monkey. Can you not have a monkey, please? Ooh. What are we doing here? Oh, no. The monkey. Shocker. Okay. We now have something to do on turn 3. If he doesn't show us Thoughtseize, then I'm not going to crack these Chromatic Stars until I have my 7 mana online, as I have the Forest in hand. That way, if he's sandbagging the Thoughtseize for me having more mana, then I can have more looks at a redraw. Miss second land drop? Nah, can't be lucky. Okay, please don't have a second one. Okay, this is most likely Thoughtseize? No, just hurting ourselves because Shadow. Okay, so that's actually neat. So on the off chance they like to play Alpine Moon, leading up into my third turn, we're just going to lead out like this. It also plays into what I was saying earlier about just keeping my chromatics, or my green sources, I guess, for the turn where they are most relevant. Or getting around Thoughtseize. My apologies. My brain went to, they are relevant now because if he plays Alpine Moon going into 7 mana turn, then I need to be able to do something about it. We still don't have enough cards in the yard. Okay, that's a Shadow, which is fine. It's going to just go to the yard. I don't know if that was a misplay. Did we get this the shame scoop? No shame scoop. Okay. So we'll keep these where they are now. Deck, thank you. You're wonderful. Okay, so here we jam Karn. We turned off his tokens and he's on 2 mana. So we can do one of two things. We can go get... Let me see here. What do I want to do? We can go get a Walking Ballista and play out the Walking Ballista, block the Ragavan and shoot the Channeler. Or I can also just tick up one of his treasure tokens or my Chromatic Sphere. So I'm going to take up my Chromatic Sphere. We're going to put it in the way, even if it means losing the Chromatic Sphere and not, you know, not drawing the card. It's fine. If they go to remove it, then I can float a green. Draw a card. Because if you read Chromatic Sphere, it says sacrifice Chromatic Sphere, add 1 mana of any color, draw a card. Okay. Is this targeted at my sphere? Oh, you're so rude. Okay, so in response... I mean, if you play an Alpine Moon, then I just play the Forest next turn anyway. So, crack for black, in case we draw Dismember. Okay. A good card, but not so much in the end step. Do I want to crack my other sphere? No. I'll keep it around. It gives me black for Dismember if I really need it, if it becomes truly important. The question here is whether or not he's going to send the Ragavan at my Karn as well. I'm assuming, yeah, Iteration. This card is so good. Okay, so he put a land into his graveyard off of his Surveil trigger. But he missed a land drop last turn. He already has land in the graveyard. This dude also played a Shadow, which just dropped into his graveyard. I'm slightly confused. He could have drawn a land for turn and just wants 3 fresh looks, but I don't think that's where you want to be. Okay, so he found a land off of the Expressive Iteration anyway. Okay, Karn is coming, see, this is what I'm saying all the time. They're both coming at me. Okay. This is bold, sir. This is very bold. Even Nature's Claim. Now, there's a chance... Okay. We're good. I was about to say, there's a chance that he just has... Spell Pierce? So... I'm going to jam this Worm Coil. Turn his Ragavan into a 2/1 idiot that does nothing. Play this out. Play this Relic. He conceded. Alright. Yeah, it looks like Worm Coil stonewalled him. If he did have 1 mana counterspell, either Flusterstorm, which I don't think a lot of Shadow lists are on Flusterstorm in the sideboard, but I know that a couple of them are on Spell Pierce, then playing the Ugin there could have been extremely detrimental. We don't want to leave ourselves on a board at 5 health, which we would have been at next turn, into a potential double bolt. So Worm Coil there was an amazing top deck. I also considered just jamming the Oblivion Stone at that point and wishing up on or going up on a treasure token and then destroying it in combat on his next attack step. And then when he went to redeploy after that, I would have then played Ugin into that. And if he would have just been able to redeploy and have the counter magic, then he would have just had everything. But obviously the Worm Coil engine changed that. Alright, thank you for watching. I will see you in the third game. Okay, so we're going to start at a little bit of an odd spot for match 3, and it's probably going to go much faster than the other matches because it's going to fly by. What had happened is I recorded my third match, and then I accidentally closed out of the editing portion of the program because I was removing a spot where my opponent disconnected for several minutes, and when I thought I was exiting out of the just editing portion to save the clip, I had accidentally exited out of the whole program and lost what I was doing. So I'm going to continue this replay. I did start it. It does move a little quickly. I thought it would move at a slower rate, but just so that way I can have every game in the video, I am going to play this one. A brief synopsis before we jump in. I am playing against a food squirrel, like reanimation cookbook style deck. Tron traditionally does well against these style of decks as they rely on their artifacts to be able to get things out of the graveyard, or get things into the graveyard, I apologize, via cookbook, and then also to be able to sacrifice their cats via their oven. So I'm going to go ahead and play. If there's anything major that kind of jumps out of me, at me, oh, man, I can't talk today. I'm so sorry. Eventually I will get used to this talking while doing things at the same time instead of just thinking. I will make note of it as it goes, but it does move a little quickly. I apologize, and I'll make sure that this doesn't happen for matches 4 and 5. So I kept the hand because it was able to make Tron on turn 4, which is a bit slower, but I didn't know what I was up against, which is fine. I ended up drawing natural Tron here, so I just want to draw some cards. I end up cycling through 3, find an Oblivion Stone, which is a good way to start. Taking them off of their actual artifacts prevents them from being able to recur a lot of their threats. So we end up taking a whole bunch of damage here because they just chain a bunch of cats with some food and their ravenous squirrel together. We jam the tower, Oblivion Stone, and wipe their board on our turn, so that way they can't activate their cookbook. They enter the squirrel, attack with a blood gas. We just play a second O-Stone, crack it once again. He sacrifices here. We have a relic with a floating mana. We crack the relic. Remove their graveyard. Draw a card. The game is essentially over for them here. We play a Sanctum of Ugin, play our Karn, get a Walking Ballista to keep the board clear, tick up, target their hand, drop a Walking Ballista as a 2/2 to make sure that any little 1/1 that they play is promptly removed. I have a small debate here whether or not to play the Karn or just keep going up on the Walking Ballista. I decide that Walking Ballista is my all-in plan, so I'm just going to go in on that plan and keep the board clear. My opponent decides to concede, and we move to game 2. So replays are weird. I apologize. I have to pull them up individually through this. So I will pull up the next replay for us. It was a 2-0 win. Pretty straightforward. So obviously we didn't have the die roll here. Kept this hand because it has 2 looks to go deeper as well as a Tron land naturally. My opponent has the Thoughtseize, takes the guaranteed one, which is the way to go. I debate, or not debate, but I question here how many naturalized effects, nature's effect is what the card is actually called, I want to bring in here. I make some joke about how I can't find the second Tron land off of my Ancient Stirrings ever. I play the star here, I remember this specifically because I wasn't playing around another Thoughtseize. I just wanted to see an additional card, and I figured, worst comes to worst, I could tower map play the other tower map, and then crack for my land this turn, or next turn. Here's where I have a dismember. I will pause here because I just want to point out that this was a big play that I made here. Or I guess not big play, but I just want to point this out. I go to dismember here with the Urza's trigger on the stack on the construct token. The reason I'm bringing attention to this is because if you allow the construct, or if you allow the Urza Saga trigger to resolve, then they have an additional artifact and their construct token is a 5/5. That allows them to, in response to your dismember, discard the card they drew for turn in their hand to the cookbook, making their construct a 6/6 and allowing them to run away with the game with 9 power on board. Continue. You'll note that they named Karn with my Pithing Needle because they saw it in my hand from Thoughtseize. It was the appropriate play. We draw another expedition map, crack expedition map, play expedition map, and we're ready to go off next turn. Or not go off, but we're ready to tap forest, tap mine, go get power plant, cast worm coil. They Thoughtseize the worm coil. We end up drawing natural Tron here. We drop a 5/5 walking ballista, which allows us to keep the board clear as much as we need to. Pass turn because we're not in any real danger at this point. Right here we have a little discussion about how if they decide to Alpha Strike, which I don't think they're doing, but the only one we're blocking here is the Elemental token. We can't afford to block the Seasoned Pyromancer in case they have a Lightning Bolt in hand. We can't lose our board presence, especially under a Pithing Needled Karn. So I state that Elemental token is the block to go. The actual assumption is that they're not going to attack at all. Next turn, we have 11 mana on board. We tap a non-tower land, sack our expedition map, go get a tower, pump that up to 12 mana for the turn, and then we make our walking ballista an 8/8, clear both of their creatures out of the way, and swing in for 5, and prepare lethal for the turn after. I do apologize once again that I had to tear through this video so fast, and hopefully it wasn't too bad. I won't screw up the editing this time, I apologize. And I will see you in match 4. Alright, we are going to start the fourth match, Jesus. She's really bad at words today. Yeah, we are not going to screw this one up like we did the last one. I'm not really even sure how I did that other than moving too quickly and getting way too excited for tacos that were on their way. A little bit of a lengthier queue time. I'm guessing there's either not a lot of people on right now, or there's just not a lot of people at XO or X1 queuing at the moment. There we go. Alright, let's take a look at what we're going up against. Okay, so we're on the draw, which is never where you want to be in Modern, super surprisingly. Okay, this hand is probably one of the worst possible hands you can see, so this is definitely going back. This is going to be where the whole league goes downhill, because we're just going to have to mulligan into oblivion. Fortunately, we're throwing this one back too. And this one. Okay, we're keeping this one. And we're basically going to pitch... Oh. I think I have to actually pitch the star. Not a good start. But depending on what we're against, we could still very much be alive. Okay. So... Wow. That's a draw. But I think we're dead. I think we're against Hammer Time. This is a really bad start against Hammer Time. Yep. Yep. Okay. So we're going to just Ancient Stirrings, be able to pay the tax this upcoming turn. Oh. Play the tower first. We don't get to have the luxury of being able to see if we find something else or withhold information due to the Esper Sentinel. Alright, Tron land, please. Okay. Jeez. We'll take this map. Next turn, we're going to once again Ancient Stirrings, pay the tax. We have a much better chance of finding a second Tron land as we just put 5 non-lands to the bottom. Okay, Steel Shaper's Gift is fine until you have a way to attach it. That's fine. Okay, so we have the Colossus Hammer, but we don't have a Pure Steel. We don't have a Sigarda's Aid yet. Yeah, just attack for 2. Makes much more sense. Got it, got it. Cool. Okay, so am I just dead? Question mark. Let's find out. He's got a hammer in hand. We got a Sylvan Scrying. So what's our out here? Do we have an out here? Is it Sylvan Scrying, find second land, hope to draw third Tron land naturally? Like, I think that's it. I think that's the only thing we can do. Sylvan Scrying, you get a card. We'll take the mine. So we play the mine. I can't really play the map, unfortunately. Because the map puts me in a position where I only have 5 mana. 5 mana is not enough. What's going to get me out of here is most likely going to be a Karn. So like, I have to run hot. I have to draw naturally into Karn. I mean, he could also just have 2 hammers here, right? Like, okay. I don't think he's got 2 hammers. I also don't understand why he equipped at sorcery speed. He could also have Steel Shaper's Gift. Spell Pierce. It's probably Spell Pierce, to be honest with you. Okay. Alright, so we have to draw a Power Plant, Sack Relic. Okay, that's not going to get us there. We'll see what we would draw anyway. Just give it pro colorless so it doesn't matter. Go to the next one. Okay, so playing against Hammer Time. We have Dismembers. We can cut these, this. We cut the Always Dust, the 2 Ugins, the 2 Titans. We bring in 2 Dismembers and 3 Nature's Claims. I practice this match quite a lot with Tobias, so we're very used to the sideboard here. Okay, so the way the Hammer Time match normally works, occasionally I can bring in this Walking Ballista. It's also sometimes correct to bring in the Chalice and just drop Chalice on 0. If I'm on the not draw play, do I want to do that? I don't think so. I think we're good as is. I also like having the Walking Ballista on the side for the Karn Wish target, but you definitely want to have at least 2 in your main, because Walking Ballista is super good against this deck, especially if you're able to start pinging and keep it around. Blast Zone also super good. Boseiju also super good. We have to knock it blown out by Spell Pierce early on if we go to search off of a Sylvan Scrying. My opponent is taking roughly 6 years to sideboard here. There we go. He heard me. Okay, so turn 4 Tron plus double O-Stone. Not my favorite keep, but not a bad keep. Now, if he's Prismatic Ending, that could be pretty bad. He's on a mull to 6. Thing of note is that Oblivion Stone, while really good against Hammer, still gets blown out by Blacksmith skill. If they want to keep one particular thing alive that's going to murder me. Okay, there's the Esper Sentinel, which I'm fine with. And Ornithopter. Okay, so we're just going to go here. We're just going to play into the turn 4 removal spell, and if he just has the I'm going to kill you in 2 turns play, then I'm just dead. Pure Seal? Stoneforge? This I'm okay with. Yep, that makes sense. Luckily, I do have the Karn for that, so not super worried about that one. Okay, so we unfortunately have to give them a card here. Let's see, grab the mine. We really hope that we just draw a tower. Nope, drew mine instead. We're just on a roll here. Okay, so play the map. Give you a card. Have fun. I will take the Cauldron hit. Take 2 Cauldron hits. Take 7 this turn to 12. I think we're still okay here. Oh, he's attacking with his Stoneforge Mystic? Okay. Sure. Sure. This is actually perfect. We couldn't ask for more here. He's just going to get blown out. Fortunately, I have to allow him to go up to 4 cards to do it successfully, but if I don't do it this way, then Jesus, these mines. If I don't do it this way, then he gets to just put the Cauldron into play, and then I have to take a whole nother turn to Carnet. So we are going to do this now. Play this. Sack it, which I've been doing a whole lot of this league, I feel. The play an immediate sack. Alright, depending on the play here, that's fine. I don't really care. So he's got a Cauldron stuck in hand. So we can cycle 2 of these. And still have the mana to cast our Oblivion Stone. Okay, cool. Play this O-Stone. We'll wait till his end step this time and crack it. And then we'll just Karn him out of the game. We also have the option of just... No, we're gonna... Let's see. Sure, I'll take 2. Sure. Blow this. Yeah. I knew that. Like I said. Let's see. Blast Zone. Chromatic Star. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So next turn I'll have 7 lands anyway. Let's see what we draw. Scrying. Beseiju. Alright, so we got the Beseiju. We're just going to Beseiju this Urza Saga now. He goes net neutral on lands, and we can just start casting these Karns next turn. sure. Pure Steel. Colossus is fine too. He's stuck with Cauldron hand plus 1 unknown. Springleaf. Sure. Also fine. So what do we do here? Oh, man. We're just in the business. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lands. Okay. So we go Karn. Oh, can we not? Hold on 1 second. Oh, I didn't play my land yet. Duh. That'd be why. I was like, why can I not do this? Karn. Alright, so we play Karn. So I have a couple options. I can just go up and then pop Blast Zone, take out both of his 1-drops. Although I have another Karn in hand, so that's kind of ridiculous. Okay, so we'll go here, do this. We'll pop this. Yeah, we didn't want to give him another turn to draw a land because they had the ability to just hard cast it next turn with that Springleaf Drum. Alright, and now I think we're just in a good way. He's stuck on 5 lands. Can't cast the only card we know in his hand. We've got a Karn plus a backup Karn. That's fine. We do, unfortunately, have to eat it. And then we're going to get that Colossus Hammer out of his hand. Can I go to 4? Do I care about going to 4? I don't think so. Tick up. Cast this Karn. We're going to also take this Karn up, eat the last card out of his hand. Use the floating mana to dismember the Stoneforge. Okay, he conceded. I was going to say, we're just going to tick up and tick down accordingly. Eat his lands when there's not a card to eat, but or whatever permanent he played. You don't ever really want to restart the game in that position, even with a Cauldron, unless you got, like, 5 or 6 cards on her and you can just easily run away with the game. But Cauldron plus land would not have been enough to restart the game, so we would have just been in a situation where we would have been slowly eating the lands, eating his hand for the rest of that. So this hand has a Blast Zone, as well as the ability to put Tron together on turn 4. So we're going to keep this as well, and hope to not get blown out. We're unfortunately on the play, or on the draw. Man, I can't talk. So we're unfortunately on the draw, meaning that if he is a fast start, we're just dead in the water. Okay, he's on a multi 5, but he might just be looking for an aggressive hand. I'm okay with this mulligan to 5. I'd rather him just mulligan all the way down to 3. Maybe not. I like having actual games of Magic. Okay, he's on a mulligan to 4. Mulliganing to 4 is rough no matter what deck you're playing. Like, I'm used to it on Tron. I mulligan to 4 quite a lot. But mulliganing to 4, especially on a deck like Hammer where you're trying to put certain cards together, it just feels like the worst. Especially if you look at an amazing 7 and you're like, I have to put some of these back, and it just kills your ability to actually put things together. Okay. So we're starting with a fetch land into a Hallowed Fountain. Probably an Esper Sentinel? Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so we have to give him a card here, unfortunately. Yeah, I have to give him a card, unfortunately. Let him claw back into the game a bit. Yep. Yep. I wonder if one of those cards is one of the ones he drew off of map. Well. Okay. We're not dead. So I have to give him a card anyway. So do I want to just play the chromatic and do it this turn? I think so. Like, yeah, I can't. Okay. So we can't pay 11, obviously. Crack this for green to see one more card. Nature's Claim, the Sentinel. Hopefully he's off of creatures. He doesn't have double white for Pure Steel. Pithing Needle, the map. That's fine. We'll Sylvan Scrying. Sylvan Scrying a second Tron piece. Okay, so we get Power Plant here. With the Power Plant, we'll play this Chromatic Star. Okay, one poison incoming. Okay. Tower off the top. That's not bad. So we want to see one extra card. Okay, so we got two choices here. I can either just play out a... Yeah, no, we don't have two choices here. We have one. Play this. Play Karn. -2. Yes. We're going to grab this Liquid Metal Coating, and we're going to try to force our opponent out of the game next turn. That's an Ornithopter. Ink Moth. Most likely attacking my Karn. Sure. Okay. Let's see here. If he has another hammer in hand, that could be really, really bad. Makes me nervous. So I guess I cast Stirrings first. I could also just hold up this Blast Zone. So if I cast Stirrings, there's a chance that I don't hit a land. If I don't hit a land, then I just play Liquid Metal Coating. Yeah, I just play Liquid Metal Coating and target his Hallowed Fountain. Okay, so we hit a land. Any order. So tough. Like, I can just destroy the Ink Moth Nexus and die to the Hallowed Fountain. Or die to the hammer if he has it. Or I can hold back this Blast Zone. Why do you have to have an Ornithopter? It was so much easier when you just had the one land. we are going to take up target nothing. You know, actually, we'll take up target our map since it's useless. It can get in the way if he chooses to layer his stuff incorrectly. He just conceded. Okay, so he must have saw the line with the blast zone is my guess. Either that or he just missed his second land drop for, you know, the fourth turn in a row and just didn't have the actual hammer to push through. I was going to pop blast zone at the end of that turn anyway, which would have removed his Sigarda's Aid as well as Colossus Hammer, Pithing Needle, and my own Expedition map. However, that allows me next turn to just go Liquid Metal Coating without fear. I'd be able to pay for the Spell Pierce mana, take him off of the Inkmoth Nexus, or maybe the Hallowed Fountain. I think it's the Inkmoth Nexus, though, so he just doesn't have any creatures on board. No, we want to do the Hallowed Fountain because he still has the Ornithopter. So we take him off the Hallowed Fountain so he can't cast Sigarda's Aid until he finds another colored mana source. Then we just, you know, Liquid Metal Coating that one out of the game, too. So I think that we played that as well as we could, but it was a rough set of games. Okay, so here we go. I decided to not make everybody watch me sit in queue for 3 or 4 minutes while I waited for a match. So as long as this one works, we'll just jump straight into the match. Oh, it's Spike! Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be Spike in my game 5? Okay. So this hand is terrible. He's going to be on some homebrew. So we are going to mulligan and just try to do what Tron things do. This hand's amazing. We're going to keep and... I think we just put the sphere to the bottom. We have so many things to do. Yeah. We'll say hey to Spike. Okay. I wonder how many times a day this man is said hi to. Like, people are just so excited to say hi to him. Medium spice. Medium spice, he says. Okay, he's got an Urza Saga. He's got a hearse. I do not care about this hearse. Do I want to drop this map? Like, there's no reason not to drop this map, right? So we will leave it there. We can fetch up whatever we need to fetch. He's going to eat this, sure. He ate his own, or what is Foothills? Is he just trying to make it big so it's a threat, would be my guess? Okay, so we have a couple options here. We just... I think we're going to play Big Karn. Give him a 2-2. Eat his Urza Saga. Okay, never mind. He is not interested in playing against the Big Karn. Okay, so let's see. He showed an Urza Saga. He showed a hearse, which the hearse is definitely coming out. I'm guessing that's in for blue-red. I don't know really what I want to bring in against him. He showed red, so he could very well be on Alpine Moon. I am not putting him on Blood Moon or Magus of the Moon because he's also playing Urza Saga, so that would be really stupid. So we'll bring in, let's see. We'll bring in the 3 claims because we also want to get rid of the Urza Sagas. I didn't see a Ragavan. I'm going to bring in 1 Dismember just to be safe. I have a feeling Emrakul's not really good here. We're not running into a bunch of counter spells. I don't think Relic's going to be good here. If I'm wrong about Relics, then I will return them. I don't know if he's playing some sort of cookbook Asmo brew, though. He do like to do that. I've got one Walking Ballista. I tend to cut Walking Ballistas against non-creature decks. Keep one in for a Sanctum of Ugin target, and then the other one goes to the sideboard. It can still be wished up. We're going to run with this until we have a little bit more information on what he's doing. If he couldn't beat the Karn, it's a smart concession because of what I'm doing right now. I just have no idea how to sideboard. Okay. Ew. Gross. Do you mulligan spike? No, you did not. Okay, let's try again. Turn 4 with a claim and some dig. We'll keep. I think it's going to be the star that goes again. Not a big fan of that, but it is what it is. Bobble. We'll see if he's a Ragavan here. If he does, then I'm just in the dirt. Okay. So we're going to do something that you don't see a lot of Tron players do. I'm going to lead on Forest. And I'm going to see if he plays Urza Saga on turn 2 like he did in game 1. If he does, with the trigger on the stack, I'm going to claim it. Okay, he didn't. I also have access to Dismember here. That's a round 6. I don't really care about that. He gets his land back. That's fine. Okay, perfect draw. So I scry. I get mine or power plant. We'll take the mine. Shocker. Played the land I knew about. Sure. I'm interested. I am intrigued. Okay. Cool. So we play map here. We hold up Nature's Claim. Just in case. Just in case. He's a smart player. He may be holding on to his Alpine Moon. He's got a Beseju. That's fine. We'll just Expedition map whichever one he... Oh. Okay. So this is a little rough. Are we able to recover from this in a recurring Beseju? I don't think so. Let's see. We'll allow him to destroy it. We'll fetch the tower. Yep. That's fine. That doesn't bother me that much. What bothers me is this Beseju he's got in his hand that he just mapped for. Yeah, Karn. That Pithing Needle would be nice for the Beseju, but we're going to see if he'll assume that I can take a turn off. I'm going to Stirrings. Take the star. If he Besejus before I get a chance to actually cast anything on 8 mana, which I'm assuming he will, then I will concede and go to the next one. That's fine. Gorgon Cave. Sure. Yeah, no, he's got it. That's fine. So, I Nature's Claim here. Nature's Claim the Saga. It's only 4 lands. Yeah, with only 4 lands, I can't cast Karn and go get the Pithing Needle to name we're just going to go to the next one. Okay. So if he is on the Renin 6 Besacian plan, which is obviously very good against what I'm doing, I will bring in the Pithing Needle. He seems to have a lot of hate for Tron. Obsidian Charmaw is obscenely good. Dismember seems fine. I saw DRC. Ulamog might have to go. Don't think it's doing enough. We'll just run it with the Pithing Needle. Being able to Pithing Needle Beseiju is really strong in this particular situation. Because Renin 6 doesn't do a ton against Tron. But, God, give me a hand. Okay. Keep. Put back one of the spheres. Okay, he kept 7, which is scary. Yep. I like it. Okay. Green. Scrying. We'll go get the mine. Mine in hand. Pass turn. He might have the Beseiju already. If he does, then he does. And grass. He does. Okay, cool. On the tower. Get this. Play this. I think we're going to play this for an extra draw. Hold up this Nature's Claim. Cracking that. I should have cracked that on my turn, I think. Yep. Since from his turn, we'll crack that. Okay, I mean, that's fine. We still have to just find a way to acquire tower. And not have him have any more hate. Play out the stone. He's got a Saga. Yeah, depending on what he does here, I'm gonna claim the Saga. Play second Oblivion Stone. Maybe not. Buddy, come on, don't do this to me. Sure. That's fine. Not really, but what are you gonna do? Play a star. Crack it for green. Wow. Okay. Clear here. Hope that we draw another land. We might be able to... Okay. Being as we have 3 of them. Like... Doesn't matter. 7, 7? No, it doesn't matter. That's it. That's GG. Got sorried in the last round by Spike and his Obsidian Charmaw, Ancient Grudge, Double Beseiju, I Hate Tron deck. It looks like it's just some mid-range pile, but it looks like it's pretty interesting, to be honest. Titania. Okay. I mean, looks good enough to me. I'm gonna call it a game there and be happy with the 4-1 league. I mean, yeah, I'm dead. All right. Not unhappy with the 4-1 league. Can't really complain. It's kind of hard to beat a deck when they have, Boseiju Renin 6 in game 2, and then in game 3 they have double Boseiju Obsidian Charma when you're playing a land-based strategy. So sometimes you just gotta take those hits. But overall, happy with the league, happy with the way the deck performed. Always could have wished for the 5-0, but it happens. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and have a wonderful day.